Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. It is Sunday, July 23rd, and you know what it's time for. It is time for the High Risk Wrestling Recap, not the podcast. So you know what we're going to do. We'll be covering the week that was, and we'll be covering the week of July 16th. Had a nice little week, some wrestling, some history being made. Actually, a lot of history being made, but we'll go over all of that. But for now, you know what's next, so just go on and hit my music. So let's get into the news. Let's do it. So AEW has signed Ian Riccaboni to a multi-year contract. This is just good news because he's very good at what he does. He is the Ring of Honor play-by-play announcer, has been covering Collision while Kevin Kelly is out. He's just good at what he does. Another Impact Wrestling star will be leaving the company, and that will be one Zicky Dice. We'll dive into that a little bit more when we do the recap for Impact, but we'll see what's next for Mr. Dice. And Ray Phoenix has departed AAA. He says this is not goodbye, just kind of see you soon, but he looks like he is no longer affiliated with AAA and probably getting an increased role in AEW and Ring of Honor. The WWE are hoping that Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville can help stabilize the women's tag team titles. This is nothing against Chelsea and Sonya. They are very much deserving of their win, but here's the thing. You could have always stabilized the division. You just could have. You chose not to. And I understand putting the titles on them, but you have The Way and you have Katana and Kaden on the main roster as well, who are a bona fide team. You also have Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, who have just not been on TV since losing the tag team championship. So, like, Chelsea and Sonya are fine choices to stabilize the division, but I think you just have better options. It's really that simple. And Tony Khan has spoken to Warner Brothers about expanding their pay-per-view schedule. We'll see. He says that the calendar brings some demands and there are economics that are involved, but I can see them adding another yearly event, maybe two more. And WWE has the replacement storyline after the Bloodline, and it's no shocking surprise that it's the Judgment Day. That after everything with the Bloodline will be finished, we will be moving on to the Judgment Day, and they will become the new forefront of the WWE. And it looked like we were going to get a Blood and Guts match in AEW, but Tony Khan says that the main reason it didn't happen was injuries. And the main injury was Jamie Hayter. Then everything went on with Willow Nightingale in Japan, winning the Strong Championship, having now new obligations there because Willow wasn't going to defeat Mercedes, so they had to do all of that, and it's like we're gonna have to start from scratch and maybe build this story up. But the Outcasts have been great. Eric Young explains why he doesn't work for WWE anymore. He just can't work for Vince. It's that simple. He has an ethical and moral obligation to just not work for Vince, and he wasn't going to get used in WWE, and he is much more important and much more special to Impact. It's that simple. That's the crux of the story. I won't want to work with Vince either. A senile old man who is just lost and really shouldn't be here anymore. The WWE and AEW, they both have interest in a top free agent, and that free agent is Nick Aldis. I wholeheartedly expect him to go to the WWE if he signs. Not the NXT, but probably Raw, because Raw could use just a little bit more quote-unquote star power in that main event scene. But it will be a big benefit for whatever company signs him. And Dominic Mysterio made history this week. He's the first person ever to main event Raw, NXT, and SmackDown in the same week. Dominic Mysterio did that. This dude is super over, and now he's making history. That is bananas. And it's funny because we didn't think we'd be here with Dom. On the injury side of things, we're keeping a close look on Bayley. She might not be wrestling for maybe a week or two to see how it's going, because she did, they threw up the X at the house show when she's wrestling Asuka, but she's not on crutches. Nothing is broken. She's got a slight limp, but hopefully she'll be good to go. An update on Bryan Danielson. Well, there's no update. There's no timetable for his return. It looks like his injury was much worse. It looks like he'll be out of action for at least another 6 to 8 weeks. On the Rampage side of ratings, the July 14th episode brought in 310,000 viewers with a .10 in the 18 to 49 demo. That is up from the previous week. That is up in it's up in some ways, but it's not the best. The Collision episode that featured the Owen Hart finals brought in 579,000 viewers with a .258 in the 18 to 49 demo. That's very good. Collision seems to be doing well with the ratings. Over on the Battle of the Belt side of things, which followed Collision, the best ratings they've done in a very, very, very long time. They brought in 524,000 viewers. That is up from the previous Battle of the Belts from back in April. It's just Battle of the Belts really doesn't mean anything because nothing happens. Raw this past week brought in 1.8 million viewers with a .57 on the 18-49 demo. It's about the same, maybe a little bit higher than last week in both the ratings and the demo, but Raw is doing fine. I feel like Raw could do better. I feel like Raw could eclipse 2 million viewers, but there's no storyline that's really as captivating as the Bloodline storyline, so we'll see what happens. Dynamite, the Blood and Guts special, they brought in 953,000 viewers with a .34 in the 18 to 49 demo. That is up in the ratings and the viewership. You figured that was going to happen with a major show like Blood and Guts. And over on Smackdown, they brought in 1.1 million viewers with a this is the .44 in the 18 to 49 demo. This is down, but it was expected to be down with the show being on FS1 and not on not on Fox, but they still did good enough ratings. And Rampage brought in, let me check here. Rampage brought in 373,000 viewers. That's up from last week's really, really bad viewership, but it was be expected. They can't get that low again to the 310,000 that they did the week before. But that is the week in review, and we shall be right back. All right, so we had ourselves a week in wrestling. Over on Monday Night Raw, the Judgement Day, listen, they run Raw, just like how the Bloodline ran SmackDown and the WWE at the time, the Judgement Day run Raw. So we were in Atlanta, Georgia. Cody comes out, he pandering to the crowd. We're in Atlanta, so it's his hometown, and it's the usual Cody, shtick, and it works. He knows what he's doing. Brock comes out, goes and then beat his ass. Brock beat Cody in front of his mom and his family. It was bananas. It was funny. It felt like this was a Vince thing. It just did. Still don't know why Brock attacked Cody in the first place after WrestleMania. We just don't know. Gunther defeated Matt Riddle and then tells Drew to try him. So we're going to get this match at some point. We had a backstage interview with Liv and Raquel saying that they're not afraid of Rhea. Well, Rhea shows up. She then headbutts Liv. Her and Raquel brawl, and Rhea kicks Raquel in the knee, injuring her. But that headbutt was so unexpected. The Judgment Day come out, and Rhea proclaims that everything is fine. Everybody agrees they're going to be champions. And then they challenge KO and Sami for the tag team titles, which match will happen later. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville defeated Liv and Raquel for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And this is mainly due to Raquel's quote-unquote injury. So Liv has it now because she was essentially wrestling 2-on-1. Seth was having a sit-down interview, and Finn attacked him. So this is hardly done. I expect him to fight at SummerSlam. I'm hoping Finn wins. The Viking Raiders defeated the Alpha Academy in a Viking rules match, and this joint was fun. It had no business being just this awesome. Valhalla Spirit Maxine Dupree through a table. This was such a good for the match, man. Go back and watch this. If you don't watch anything this week, go watch that match. Shayna basically destroyed Nikki, and then Ronda mocks Shayna from the skybox and accepts her match at SummerSlam. This is going to be good. Ronda was really good here. I wish we got this Ronda a lot. Ricochet invites Logan Paul to Raw next week. Becky Lynch was on Miz TV and didn't fall for Miz's shenanigans, as she tells him, like, I know you're going to call out Trish and Zoe, so bring him out. Becky goads Trish into a match at SummerSlam, but Trish says you have to do 3 things. One was you got to be Zoe, you got to say thank you Trish, and you got to get like thank you Trish tattooed on you somewhere, and then they all fight, because that's what always happens. Ciampa interfered in Shinsuke's match against Bronson Reed, giving Bronson Reed the DQ win, and Shinsuke kicked Ciampa hard, and he's tired of people getting into his business. And I ain't mad at him. He's right. KO and Sami retained against the Judgment Day in a really, really hard fought match. Over on Dynamite, we had blood and guts. So our first match on the show was Jungle Boy. No longer Jungle Boy, but just Jack Perry coming out. First it was his Tarzan music, but then it switched to Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, and he was taking on Hook for the FTW Championship, and he won. This was a good match. It was Hook's best match by far. And Jack gave Hook his first ever loss. Cameras caught up with Don Callis and Chris Jericho, but they got shooed away, so there's more to the story coming. Cole and GF, we had a nice little restaurant segment. They were at dinner and at a bar. They got really drunk by accident and then beat up 2 guys who they thought were Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara. We had a Britt Baker squash, so there's your obligatory women's match of the week. I would rather us not have a match than to just put this trash on. MJF and Adam Cole have a dance over with Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia before their match. This was fun. Cole and MJF have really, really good chemistry together. But in the end, Cole and MJF defeated Guevara and Garcia in the finals of the Blind Eliminator tournament. So they'll get a tag team title shot against FTR, who came out, stared them down. And as Guevara and Garcia were walking to the back, Jericho was on commentary, and they just ignored him. They just went right by him. So this isn't over by a long shot. We had a backstage interview with the best friends. So it was Chuck, Trent, Darby, Nick Wayne, and Chris Statlander. And Darby's like, yo, I'm paying attention to you, Swerve. You know, we got some beef. And he asked OC to give his boy AR Fox a tag team international title shot, which will happen next week. Darby and Nick didn't do the hands in, but Renee did. And in the main event, we had our blood and guts with the Golden Elite, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Hangman Page, and Kota Ibushi taking on the Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, Wheeler Yuta, Kanuse Takeshita, and Pac. And this was just brutal and crazy. Craziest spot was Pac doing a double stomp hanging from the cage through a table on Kenny Omega. This was crazy. This was everything that you expected to be, and then some fighting on top of the cage, blood, tables, thumbtacks. The tide turned when Pac and Claudio got into it, so Pac just left. He got some bolt cutters and just left. And Don Callis saw that the tide was turning and told Takeshita to leave. So it ended up being 3-on-5 with Moxley saving Wheeler Yuta from getting Osman to destroy and tapping out. So this built some sympathy for the BCC, and then they shook hands. So I think this feud is done. Perfectly fine with it. This was fun, and then we can go in some different directions. Over on Impact, we had our Slammiversary Fall Out show. So Scott D'Amore starts the show, and then the Good Hands come out blaming their string of losses on Scott D'Amore. So he puts them in the match against Rich Swann and Sami Callihan. Guess what? They lost again. ABC blamed their tag team title loss on the Rascals, and they get into it, the Rascals backstage, and that D'Amore sends them away. He's going to handle this. He sets up Zicky Dice versus Johnny Swinger, and a loser leaves Impact match, and we know who won that match. Nick Aldis welcomes Eric Young, and they'll battle in the ring. Jake Something defeated Kevin Knight. Courtney Rush defeated Savannah Evans. The Coven are coming for Trinity and Danny Luna. Jonathan Gresham might leave Impact as there are no rules in the X division. Dirty Dango defeated Santino with help from a masked man revealed to be John E. Bravo. Savannah Evans and Giselle Sorrell have some words with the tag champs. MK Ultra and Jody Threat drops off Jay Vidal. Subculture retains the tag team titles over ABC with a distraction from the Rascals. Leo Rush beat up Chris Sabin at ringside, and then Alex Shelley confronts Josh Alexander, and they set up a world title match. Leo Rush says, there's always option C, because he is the X Division champion. Kushida comes out with his X, because he has a bona fide guaranteed title shot. Impact just continues to be a really good show. Over on Ring of Honor, this was our Death Before Dishonor Go Home show, so we had some matches, and the show looks like it's found its groove. I wish it had just a little bit more story, but we've shortened the show up. So we had wins by Dan Garcia, Dalton Castle defeating Shane Taylor to advance to Death Before Dishonor to take on Joe for the TV title. Josh Woods got a W. Athena got a W and went to beat up her opponent, but Willow made the save. The Righteous beat the Boys. Layla Hirsch defeated Nicole Matthews. The Kingdom won a fatal 4-way match in the main event. This was good. And then on Death Before Dishonor, we had on the pre-show Josh Woods defeating Tracy Williams, Action Andretti and Darius Martin defeating the Workhorsemen, Layla Hirsch defeating Trish Adora, AR Fox defeating Shane Taylor. And then on the main card, Gravity versus Commander, with Gravity winning that match. Samoa Joe retaining the TV championship against Dalton Castle. Aussie Open defeated the Best Friends, the Kingdom, and the champs at the time, the Lucha Brothers, to become the new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. The Mogul Embassy retained their 6-man Tag Team Champions over Leon Ruffin, Master Wato, and Ryusuke Taguchi. Katsuyori Shibata defeated Dan Garcia to retain the Ring of Honor Pure Championship in a Pure Rules match. This was good, y'all. I'm a fan of Dan Garcia, man. I told y'all that. The Dark Order defeated The Righteous and Stu Grayson in a match without honor, with Eva Uno getting the pin over Stu Grayson. Claudio Castagnoli retained the Ring of Honor World Championship over Pac. And in the main event, which I was shocked, I tell you, Athena retained the Women's Championship, defeating Willow Nightingale via ref stoppage. This was an awesome match. Please go watch this match. Please go watch this match. Over on SmackDown, we got the Rules of Engagement. LA Knight cut a promo before the Fatal 4-Way match, but Rey Mysterio won it, defeating Cameron Grimes, Sheamus, and LA Knight. Theory was on ringside on commentary, and he got involved taking out Rey, but Santos Escobar interviews, so they'll have a match later in the day. Charlotte defeated Io Sky. I wasn't the biggest fan of this match. Bailey went to the back after a Shotzi video played scaring Bailey, then he left the arena. Asuka attacked Charlotte after the match. Dominic Mysterio will defend the North American Championship against Butch later. It's so funny because Shawn Michaels was here and he almost called Butch Pete Dunne, which I don't really blame him. Roman Reigns fears Solo's look at the lay. Santos Escobar defeated Austin Theory. So I kind of got a feeling of who's going to win next week between Rey and Santos. Dom retained the North American Championship against Butch with a little bit of help from, of course, Mommy. And in the last segment of the night, Jay and Roman were having a contract signing, and Roman was cool. He was chilling. I was like, "Yo, we're gonna do this match, whatever." Because he calls Jay a pawn, and Jay for the contract. He's like, "No, this is tribal combat, and it's just anything goes." And Roman was fine until he said, "Well, do the elders know about this?" And then Jay was like, "It was the elders who said it should be done," and then Roman's demeanor changed. And yes, he's the tribal chief, but he has to respect the tribal elders and their wishes. So Roman puts the lei on top of the world championship, and now he knows what's up. So Solo goes to give Jay a Samoan spike, and Roman stops him. And then Jay kicks Solo. So this ain't over, y'all. Like, it's not over. I'm excited. Over on Rampage, we had the Royal Rampage, which usually happens when we have the Blood and Guts match. It's a Battle Royal. So Darby Allin won, lastly eliminating Swerve to earn a TNT title shot at All Out. And there, our first match for All Out is booked. The Acclaimed and Daddy Ass defeated QTV. And in the main event, Chris Statlander retained the TBS Championship over Marina Shafir. Over on Collision, this is a Ricky Starks show. This is Ricky Starks' world. We're just living in it. And he's like, "Yo, you win by any means necessary. You don't ask me if I cheated. Like, come on, man. Ask me about how sexy I am. So Punk comes out and says, "Listen, I'm not mad that you cheated. I've cheated. But can you live with yourself on how you won?" And then Punk just leaves. And then while he's walking to the back, Ricky's like, "Yo, what I've done is more important than what you have in that bag." Punk turns around and calls himself the uncrowned champion. Then Christian and Luchasaurus comes out. And they're like, "You're not important." And then Darby comes out, and we got a tag match later in the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I was not expecting Darby to be here. This is Darby's first night on Collision. Andrade isn't allowed into the building. Juice Robinson and Jay White defeated Action Andretti and Darius Martin, and then the Guns beat them all up after the match. Beat up Juice, beat up Action and Darius. We got a Willow Nightingale hype package, which is good. So I'm expecting really, really big things for Willow Nightingale. Nick Comoroto attacked Miro before the match, but Miro still won because he is the Redeemer. The House of Black retained the Trios Championships over the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. And then Billy Gunn feigned retirement. He took his boots off and then left. And this was so shocking, but you can kind of see it coming. Remember a couple of weeks ago when he had that in-ring interview saying, we still love Daddy Ass. So I want to see what's next, what's going to go on with Billy Gunn. FTR just had an interview in the ring to set up their tag match against Adam Cole and MJF, and I think match is going to happen on Collision. Taya Valkyrie defeated Sky Blue in a really, really good match. One of the better women's matches of the week. And she calls out Britt for a match on Dynamite. I'm hoping Taya wins that. And in the main event, Ricky cheated again as he and Christian defeated Punk and Darby. And Punk can't believe it that he got duped twice. Our matches of the week from Raw, the Viking rules match between the Viking Raiders and Navajo Academy. Check that one out. Also from Raw, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defending the Undisputed Tag Team Championships against the Judgment Day team of Dominic Mysterio and Damien Priest. From Dynamite, Jack Perry versus Hook for the FTW Championship. Of course, blood and guts, because it's blood and guts, and it's blood and guts. From SmackDown, Sheamus versus Rey Mysterio versus Cameron Grimes versus LA Knight in a fatal 4-way match. From Death Before Dishonor, Aussie Open versus the Lucha Brothers versus the Best Friends versus the Kingdom for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. Everything's still from Death Before Dishonor. The Pure Championship match, Pure Rules match between Katsuyori, Shibata, and Daniel Garcia. Garcia's getting over. And he wants to be a wrestler, but he's got to be a sports entertainer. It's so good in Shibata. I was supposed to be Death Before Dishonor, y'all. I'm so upset. I'm still hurting from that. The Ring of Honor World Championship match between Claudio and Pac. And, of course, the main event, Willow Nightingale and Athena for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. It was just awesome, man. It was just a great match. Our star of the week. This is tough. So I'm gonna spread the love. So we have the Golden Elite. We have Dirty Dom, and we have Athena and Willow, because they all deserved it. It was just a big effort for everybody. But that's the show. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for listening. I greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to check out the socials. Charismatic Creations on Facebook, YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, the 215 spelled out on Twitter, Coffee, Patreon. As always, thank you. Check out the High Rise Wrestling Podcast every Saturday. And as always, Zia Lee, Wendy Chu, Shotzi Blackheart, Bailey, Willow Nightingale, Isla Dawn, and Gigi Dolan. Holla at your boy. Peace.